Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Flux. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the Tangerine Waves Wrap. This is a really pretty but really easy wrap that you can make. We've done it in a very simple V-stitch. All you need to know is how to make a chain and how to make a double crochet stitch. It's a very easy wrap, but it does give a nice lacy texture. We have done stripes. I've done silver and this really pretty bright orange color. So it's nice for warmer weather as well. It has a nice bright kind of fresh look to it. And the finished piece is about 48 inches long and it's about 14 inches wide. However, I'm going to show you how to change the width if you need to, if you want to make it wider or narrower, if you would like to make it into a scarf, for example. And to make it longer, you can simply just work more rows. So it's a very easy wrap to work up. So let's get started. For this project, you'll need a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, a ruler or measuring tape. That'll help you get the length of the wrap that you'd like. You'll also need a 6mm J crochet hook and your yarn. The yarn that I will be using is called Brava Worsted and it's by Knit Picks. It's a really soft, easy to work with yarn, has good stitch definition. And I'm going to be using 2 balls of this kind of peachy neon color. This is called Seashell. And 1 ball of this kind of stone grayish color. This is called Dove Heather. However, you can use any color combination you like. And the total yardage, if you need to substitute yarn, each one of these balls of yarn is 218 yards. So about 654 total yards for the wrap will work. If you'd like to substitute yarn, just look on the back of your yarn label for a yarn that recommends the 6mm J crochet hook. And I would also recommend working up a little swatch just to make sure the yarn looks how you like it to look, and even really how the colors work together and things like that. So let's get started. So to begin our beautiful wrap, we're going to start by putting a slip knot on our hook. So take the yarn and wrap it around your fingers to make a loop. Bring the yarn behind the loop, reach in with your crochet hook, bring up the loop and tighten. Our wrap has a starting chain of 40 chains. So to make a chain, wrap yarn around hook and bring it through the loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. So here is our starting chain. And you want it to be fairly loose. It doesn't have to be ultra loose, but if you're having trouble and your chains are very tight, I would recommend going up a hook size just for your starting chain. And then when you begin to work on the remainder of your wrap, go back to the 6mm J hook, okay? So what we're going to do is begin row 1. Okay, so to begin row 1, we're going to count in the 4th chain from the hook. This loop here does not count. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to begin our first V of our V-stitch wrap, okay? So to make a V, work a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and that's how you make each V of this pattern. Okay, so to make a double crochet, wrap yarn around hook, insert it into the chain, and bring up a loop. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the first 2 loops on your hook, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the last 2 loops on your hook, chain 1, and then work another double crochet, all in that same chain. Okay, so this is what your first V will look like. Then we're going to skip a chain, and in the chain after that, work another V. Double crochet. Let me get some more yarn here. So I worked a double crochet, then chain 1, then a double crochet. All in that same chain. So now we have our second V. Skip the next chain. In the chain after that, work a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. Okay. Skip the next chain, and the chain after that, do the same thing. double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We're just going to do this all the way across. Skip the next chain, the chain after that, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, so we can see all these V's are starting to form across the row. Skip the next chain and the chain after that, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, I'm going to continue doing this all the way across by skipping the next chain, working a V in the chain after that. And then when we get towards the end of this row, right before we end, not at the end, I'm going to show you how to both finish off this row and then how to transition into the next row. Okay, so I'm going to continue working my V's across, and they're looking very pretty. Okay, so I'm just coming up to the end of the row. I just have a few chains left. So I'm going to skip the next chain and the chain after that, work a V, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Same thing we've done all the way across. So now I just have 2 chains, and in that last chain, so I'll skip the next chain, and that very last chain, just work 1 double crochet to finish off the row. Okay, so our row 1 looks like this. We have a nice little row of V's, okay? So let's work round, or row 2 rather. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work. Now, the V stitch, V's are worked into the V from the previous row, so you could get like a stacking effect. So in the written pattern on the Flux blog, I refer to this as the chain 1 space. So every time we worked a chain in between these 2 double crochets, it creates this space. That's where we're going to be working our row of V's into, each one of these V's from the previous row. Okay, so locate that first chain 1 space in between the V's and work a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Hop over to the next V, or that chain 1 space as it's also called, and work a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Whoops. Hop over to the next V, double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. Next V, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now we've worked a couple V's across. Let's stop and look at what we've done. As you can see, these V's are stacked on top of each other. Okay? So what you're going to do is just continue. I'm going to grab some more yarn here. Continue across. So work a V in the center of each V from the previous row. So I'm going to continue doing this across, working my V's into the V's, and then we will rejoin. Now remember, we have two rows of the gray, and then we're going to switch to the orange. So I'm going to finish up this row, and then once I get towards the end, we're going to switch over, and then I'll learn how to transition to a new color. Okay, so I'm just working that last V of row 2, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then again work a double crochet in that turning chain space. Same thing we did in row 1. Okay, so row 2 is complete, and you can see all of our V's are stacked on top of one another, and it's starting to look very nice. So what you're going to do to finish your wrap is to repeat row 2 over and over and over again until your wrap is as long as you would like it to be. But I'm going to show you how to switch colors. Even though we're going to be repeating row 2, I'm going to show you how to switch colors. Now, if you remember earlier in the video, I mentioned that I am doing 2 rows of gray, 6 rows of the shell, 2 rows of gray, 6 rows of the shell, and so forth. But obviously you can do any sequence you like. But when you are ready to change colors, what I like to do is just cut the yarn and fasten off. And then what you can do is grab your other color here, and then see this stitch, this last stitch that you worked? Insert your hook into that last stitch that you worked. Grab your yarn and just tie it right on. Now I wanted to also say as a side note, there's lots of ways to join new yarn. Definitely do the one that you like best. I like to just tie it right on. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we have the new yarn attached. We'll deal with these ends later. In this space here where you left off, you're going to reach into that space, not the stitch, but reach into that space and bring up a new loop, just like that. Then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn. And now you're ready to begin the row, okay? So we're just going to repeat row 2 for the rest of the wrap. Okay, and work the V's. I wanted to work a few V's in the new color just to kind of show you what it's going to look like. V stitch looks really pretty when you work it in stripes of color like this. This is also a great way to use up a little bit of yarn you might have on hand. If you only have a partial ball of yarn, you can incorporate a little bit of color throughout. Okay, so I just worked a couple of stitches just to show you. So again, you're just going to repeat row 2 over and over and over until your wrap is as long as you would like it to be. I'm going to go ahead and work this wrap, and then when we get towards the end of the wrap, we'll rejoin, and I'm going to show you how to fasten off and weave in the ends and finish up your wrap. Okay, so I'm just working that very last stitch, and that's a double crochet in that turning chain space to finish off the row. And as you can see, it looks very pretty. Now we've done 6 rows of this tangerine color and 2 rows of the silver. Now you can do any color, any sequence, any row count you like for each color to make your stripes thicker or thinner. It's totally up to you. But if you want to repeat this, this color and stripe sequence that I did, 6 rows of tangerine, 2 rows of silver. So we're all finished. We can now cut our yarn and fasten off. And if you wove your ends in as you went along, you'll have a lot less ends when you finish your piece, but I did not, so I'm gonna have lots of ends to weave in. So I'm just gonna show you how to weave one of these. We have lots of ends here, but I'm just gonna show you how to weave one of those in so you don't have to see me weave every single end in as I go here. So all I'm going to do is thread my tapestry needle, and then when you're weaving in ends in a striped piece or a multicolor piece, just make sure, for example, that you're weaving the silver here into just the silver section, and then when you go to weave in one of these orange ends in, you're going right into this orange section only. If you don't do that, it'll show really bad, so you don't want to go over the colors. Okay, so all I'm going to do is go in one direction here with my tapestry needle, just like this. And then I'm just gonna give it a nice little tug and then come back in the other direction to finish that off. Okay, and then just pull that through, remove your tapestry needle, grab your scissors, and then just trim that end. Then you'll just repeat for all of your other ends, and then you'll be finished. So I'm gonna go ahead and weave my ends in, and we'll rejoin, and I'll show you how it all looks when it's finished. So we're all finished. Our wrap looks beautiful, and that's it. That's how you crochet the Tangerine Waves Wrap. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks again.